issue of weirdos in the classroom, and people breaking ranks with Justin Trudeau. Although I don't think he ever really had these people as loyalists to himself. He just thought he did. The Muslim Association of Canada has rebuked Justin Trudeau over parents' rights. I wrote this up yesterday for the website. They said, "We demand that every child deserves a coercion-free education environment where they are not forced to engage in activities contrary to their faith." So this isn't just about Muslim kids. Their demands, they're about all kids, including my own. They said this was in regard to the 1 million March for Children demonstrations. They issued a statement in support of those demonstrations before that. They said, "We recognize the intended purpose of community members to hold these protests is to maintain the rights of parents to be actively involved in their children's education and for children to uphold their religious beliefs." Now, they came out the other day and said, "We call on politicians and school boards, beginning with Justin Trudeau, to retract their deeply inflammatory and divisive comments and issue an apology to the thousands of Canadian parents hurt by these comments." So they are tired of politicians and these woke corporations, for some reason, municipal governments, school boards, coming out and saying that if you oppose the likes of Busty Lemieux waggling his wiener in bike shorts in front of your kid, that you're somehow a transphobe. They've had it, and I'm so excited because good luck calling these people intolerant.
Well, blackface is not going to bend to this, Sheila Gunn Reid, and I'm so happy this is becoming a wedge issue because there are a lot of Muslims that vote Liberal. And I don't think that's going to be the case, whether it's next year or the year after when we have our federal election. But don't expect the left to listen to that narrative, because it's actually quite the opposite, folks. Sheila, as you know, tonight I'm going to Kitchener. I'm going to the Waterloo Region Council because they're going to vote on a motion where it's going to be illegal. They're going to have a bylaw that you cannot hurt the feelings with any kind of slogan, any kind of sign when it comes to the Spirit Unicorn Syndicate. So yeah, only them. They're special. They're the sacred cows of society. So in other words, Sheila, if this bylaw was in effect in Waterloo Region last week when we had the 1 million March for Children, that would be deemed an illegal gathering. You would be trespassed and you would be fined up to $250 for just having a sign saying, oh, I don't know, hands off our kids, or I am against Soji, anything along those lines. So we're going to see if that motion passes, but we see similar censorious legislation in Edmonton, Calgary, London, and this is a growing trend with these Marxist bureaucrats and counselors, Sheila, shutting down the debate by law and by financial penalty. This, and by the way, there is no hope in hell. I'm not a constitutional lawyer, much like I'm not a labor lawyer. This cannot win in a court of law. This will be deemed unconstitutional under the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which protects this kind of demonstration.
You know what I say to these people? Let's rumble.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's rumble. In Calgary, we're helping Pastor Derek Reimer, who has received tickets for and incarceration for protesting drag queen story hours at the public library. So not only do you have a right to protest what's happening in a free country, but you also have the right to oppose your government, which is what he's doing, because these are happening in municipal facilities. So this is a government decision, and he gets to oppose his government in the public square. And nothing can get more public than a government facility. It's something owned by everybody and administered by the government, and yet he's in trouble for it. So, if they want to bring this in and they want to start ticketing protesters, let's rumble. Let's see how this turns out for everybody.
And Sheila, it's so outrageous. I mean, where does this end? I mean, right now it's all this protection for members of the Rainbow Mafia. But what next? You can't protest against Hindus. You can't protest against Muslims. Well, they'll never have a bylaw saying you can't protest against Christians. But you see what I'm saying? How far along are we going to go cherry picking what groups are sacred cows where seldom is heard a discouraging word? And if you're not all down with that, you're going to be trespassing, given a fine. It's outrageous.
Yeah. And, we saw this actually play out in real time. So when churches reopened here in Alberta, Pastor Art's church was picketed by, busybodies who don't go there. A church in the Vine was picketed by a couple of weirdos in the ditch across, whatever. And you know what? Church in the Vine didn't call for them to be arrested. They didn't call it a hate crime. They didn't call anything. They just said, look, this is their right. As long as they're not on our property, we don't really care all that much. We're probably just going to pray for them. Likewise with Pastor Art. We saw this with Pastor Hildebrandt's church also. These people have no problem seeing Christian churches picketed. Now, the Christian churches don't actually have all that much of a problem with it either.
Yeah.
It's just this one select group that is, protected from any and all criticism in a free society, which makes it not all that free at all, does it?
It doesn't. And you know what, folks? What I love about Sheila Gunn Reid is her two most oft-repeated words in the calendar year of 2023 thus far has been weirdos and wieners. And by wieners, she's not talking hot dogs, okay? It comes up on almost every morning meeting, and it just puts a smile on my face.
Do you know what? There has to quit being stories about people waving their wieners around, and I'll quit saying it in the morning meetings. But it just comes out of my mouth every day. Sequined underpants. Helicoptering their wieners. These are phrases that I shouldn't say in a staff meeting, but society makes me say them. Anyway.
If you like cruising already, well, this is truly something unique. And if you've never been on a cruise ship before, this is the perfect way to start with a group of like-minded rebels from coast to coast. You can find out all the details, including the different cabin prices, at rebelnewscruise.com. I know you're going to look back on it as the vacation of a lifetime. We've reserved a limited number of Rebel News cabins, so book yours today at rebelnewscruise.com. We'll see you there.